The challenge is the world was already slowing in 2019 before the coronavirus added to the economic risks. We were growing at the lowest rate since the financial crisis of 2009. So you'd expect the new shock that we've seen from the virus to take us down to a significantly lower growth rate than the world has been used to for the last decade.
And how long will it take us to overcome the effects of the coronavirus on the markets?
The challenge for the world economy is the coronavirus is both a supply and a demand shock. Supply shock because it upsets global supply chains and the flow of goods, and demand because it hits confidence and spending. Demand shocks can be usefully offset by central banks. Supply shocks are more difficult and will require a big response in terms of government spending. So far we've seen that from China, we've seen that from the US, possibly from the UK, but not yet from Europe.
So Brexit has happened, we're in the transition period, and the UK has a new Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak. What can we expect in terms of the economic outlook in the UK this year, particularly because Gibraltar's economy is very much linked to the UK's?
We've seen an extraordinarily strong bounce since the election. The leading indicators, these are businessmen who look forward and tell you what their sentiment is, have jumped extraordinarily strongly. Looking forward, the challenge will be to implement the new Chancellor's spending programme, and it'll look a little bit more like Trump's America in terms of fiscal stimulus, and I think will, to an extent, isolate the UK from the risks of the virus and Brexit negotiations in a better way than many people expect.
And would you expect there to be a Brexit deal this year? Can one be achieved?
We have now detailed guidelines published from the EU. We shall see today and tomorrow what the response from the UK is. I think the clash points will be fisheries, finance and the level playing field. Looking though at the interests on both parties, they are well aligned. And remember that the total volume of trade between the UK and EU is only just behind the EU and the US and China. In fact, if you look at EU exports to the UK, they are larger than EU exports to China. So there is a huge incentive for a deal. So I expect some sparks, I expect difficult positions, but in the end I expect a deal which will be in the interests of both parties.
As for Gibraltar, what opportunities would you say there is for the ROC post-Brexit?
Well, I think certainly the British commentators have looked a lot at UK exports to Europe being preserved. I think from Gibraltar's opportunity, with its close links and its agreements with the UK, it offers a window for Europe into the UK, in other words, the other way round. And that is where the real business opportunities lie. So it is possible that Gibraltar becomes a little bit of a window for Europe into what will be its first or second largest trading partner. And I think that leaves you quite robustly positioned.